Into order. Establish a quorum. I can do that. Chair Corrigan, here. Vice Chair Couture, here. Commissioner Morris, here. Commissioner Valdez, here. And Commissioner Young, here. We have all 5 members present. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You're too fast.
Sorry.
Get up there.
I have my marching orders to get out of here on time.
So I don't think that we have any public comments. So we'll move to the first agenda item, which is, let's see, approval of the minutes from the February 18th meeting. Is there any staff thing on that?
The minutes are included. There's no staff report.
All right, any observations from anyone, any corrections? I know I've seen one, which is calling the meeting to order. I think it says Chair Morris. I think it may say Chair Corrigan. Any other observations?
What was this, the spelling? I couldn't remember. The spelling of the comment, the public commenter correct?
Yes,
Okay, that's the name.
it is. I have his comment card, but that is not how I spelled it when I took the notes.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see any other substantive.
The only other observation I had was, do we need to say late at 6:36 p.m.? Can we just say join the meeting at 6:36?
That is from the clerk's office.
Okay.
So that is,
Cool.
that is how I do that.
Are there any other corrections or edits? Anything that anyone wants to discuss? All right, then can I invite a motion?
I'll move that we approve the minutes as amended from February 18th, 2025.
Is there a second?
Yeah.
Okay, Chair Corrigan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Couture,
Yes.
Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Commissioner Valdez,
Yeah.
and Commissioner Young. That is unanimous.
Okay, the next agenda item is art inventory and brochure. So thought maybe what we would do there is, we're going to show you the art inventory, and that's something that Vice Chair Couture and I worked on along with Director Hernandez. It's a living document. It's online. It is too big to email. So, but it's pretty comprehensive, but we want to show it to all of you so you can see what's there. So this is just the cover page, which just is there to show you what it is. So we'll go to the next tab, which is installed art. So this lists by title, location, artist, media description, price, installation date, everything you would want to know about that piece of art is on here. And we actually currently have 38 installed sculptures. Does anyone have any questions?
No questions, or just a comment that some of them also said that we don't have a plaque on them yet.
Yes, okay, and actually, that's a really good point. So one of the things that we're going to do with the inventory this round is we're going to go ahead and we're going to do another review to check on the condition, check on whether the plaque is there, check on whether the item is on the website. And what you can tell from this spreadsheet is whenever you look at the title, if you see a hyperlink, and I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, you can see it.
Okay, if you see a hyperlink, that's a hyperlink to the website. The website is still being updated, and so we don't have descriptions for many of the new sculptures. So like Compass Turtle, we don't have a description on the website. And my understanding, and Casey or Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, is that the website is going to come in the fall?
So the new city website is slated at this time to go live sometime during the summer. I would say June or July. The exact timeline has not been finalized because they're still working on the design process.
Okay, so would it make sense for us to have descriptions ready for the sculptures and pictures ready to go up, or?
I would actually say, so process-wise, they've actually migrated all of our current content on the current website. So anything that we change now will have to be actually created in the new platform. So I would say at this point, there's no rush to do it until we go live with the new website.
Okay,
Now, obviously, you can work to gather all the pieces so that it's ready to go once the new website is ready to go.
Thank you so much.
yes. Okay, so the next tab, just moving along. So this identifies, the art that was approved from the last call for Art Without Walls that we're waiting to install.
Well, the middle one has 3 parts to it.
So you have Butterflies in the Park, you have Magnify, you have Tolling of the Bell, you have Capital Art. Capital Art was one that, the Public Arts Commission had said could go on Third Street. And then Zooscapes. Zooscapes is actually not a new piece of art. However, it went sent out to be refurbished and we're waiting for it to come back.
That's the one outside the library?
Yes. Yeah. And then I just noted on here the open pads, which Vice Chair Couture knows all about. So do you want to explain what pads are so people know?
So there are quite a few pads that were put down for sculptures previously that either the sculpture maker took back or sold, or we don't have it anymore. And so we also have some pads that could use a sculpture.
And so basically that's a place on the pavement that's prepared for a sculpture.
Cement.
Okay. I have 3. Yeah. All right, so we'll move on to the retired pieces. So this is something that we created, just to keep track, and it's not complete because I just started doing this, just recently, so stuff that predates, Vice Chair Couture and me on the Public Arts Commission isn't listed here with a picture, but I thought it would be nice to keep track of all the prior pieces of art that we had in the city. Some of it we own. So for example, do you want to go down to the door sculptures? So the door sculptures used to be in Lincoln Park, but they were damaged. And so they were removed, but the city owns that. So maybe at some point the city will want to decide whether to refurbish them. And then Henry was just removed. That's the dog that was at Grant Park because it was vandalized, unfortunately.
Was Henry the one we put the rocks around?
Yes. Yes.
Unfortunately, a lot of the rocks got pried off by the children because they love that dog so much.
And then finally, last but not least, is the last tab, which is art location. So one of the things that we try to do is we try to track where the sculptures are installed across the city, just so that we can balance them across all of Los Altos and not have them concentrated, for example, in downtown or the community center or North Los Altos. So that right now it's kind of even. It's about, almost 50-50 where it's in the 94022 area code and 94024 area code. So that is an update on the art inventory.
Question, simply because I can't see.
Oh, yeah.
Is there a column that says owned by the city or owned by the?
Yes. Yes, that's in the installed art, and what it says is ownership. There's a title called, there's a section called ownership, and it either says city owned since 1994 or on loan.
Thank you.
And then the last column is, the story of the art,
Yes.
as I understand it? Okay.
Yes.
And the final question for me is, is that, the link to that spreadsheet on the website?
No, it's not. This is a working document, and it also has information about donors, so donors who want to remain anonymous, so that's not posted.
So can commissioners have access to that spreadsheet?
Oh, yeah, we can figure out a way to do that, yeah. Okay, so, any questions? I don't think there's any further action to be taken. We just wanted to update you on what that was about. So the next item is the brochure. So this is something that we wanted to show you. So, the Public Arts Commission has had, numerous brochures. I mean, this is like the 3rd iteration of them. And this simply, what we're going to plan to do is to update it because a lot of these sculptures may have been replaced or taken away. And we also have a lot of new sculptures that are coming that have been installed actually. And so the plan is under our work plan, I'm going to work with Manny, Director Hernandez on this, and we're going to simply update the pictures and the names and the locations.
So like they're the Public Arts Commission?
Yeah.
Is there an estimated completion date for this?
So that's why we wanted this on the agenda today, so because we want to get it done by May, so that it's ready for your farmer's market. Yes, right, we can talk about your farmer's market.
Exactly the intent of my.
Yeah, so, okay, yeah.
Is it this, as I understand it, then this brochure will be updated annually, or?
It's gonna depend on, it's up to the commission, I mean, that's the ideal. But, yeah, that's,
And this would be a paper brochure?
yes, and in addition to the website. Yes, and we would also make that available, in my view, as a PDF on the website. Okay. Do we need anything further than that? We don't need a vote, I don't think. Okay, we just have to, yeah, we're just updating. Okay, so now, the next fun item is, selection of the 2025 Community Center Gallery themes. Is there a staff report?
I believe there is a staff report that Manny prepared that is just after the minutes. Yeah, it is in there.
So essentially on this one, we are asking the commission to select the next, the top two, so that we wouldn't have to then agendize, and we can then release the calls according to the timeline that can be put up. And then the other pieces, such as selecting the art, will obviously come back to the commission at the appropriate time once the call has been released. But staff felt that that was going to be the most efficient so that we could be timely in releasing the call.
Any clarifying questions?
Are these the ones that we're gonna be voting on? Or
No,
are
I
these
think
suggestions?
these are
Suggestions. If we have suggestions, we can, I had sent something to you, but I think it was too late.
So you actually sent, the same thing that Janet sent. So I think you just reattached Janet,
Oh, shoot, I meant to
It's okay.
send a different list.
but they can all be verbalized here. We just have Janet's in writing now.
Okay. What am I doing?
Chair board.
So what I'm sharing with you now is simply just, pictures of the current exhibit. Just because I thought that might be helpful if you wanted to see what it looks like. I have to say, this year's exhibit was fantastic. I mean, some of the pictures there are about Los Altos are beautiful. There's no public comment. I would invite it if people were here, but shall we have open discussion? I think maybe what we should discuss is how we're gonna approach this. So, I sent out an email to everyone, thank you, Casey, to ask you what your top picks were, and maybe we could just go around everybody and just see what your recommendations were. And just so that you know, we have to pick two themes, one for the spring and one for the fall, right? Okay, so how about if we get my computer out? Commissioner Young, would you like to start?
Yeah, so the two that I would pick would be From Orchards to Innovations. Because actually I was thinking about apricots to AI. So, yeah, you know, which is what this, basically alludes to. But I think that this being more general is good. So number 6 is something that I think is good. And then number 2, which I think it opens the door for everybody, to
Okay.
express their thoughts about it.
Seasons of Los Altos?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Valdez?
I went a different direction, because we've done, the last couple that have been really focused on Los Altos, we did the, what is winter to me, and Los Altos through, what Los
Life in
Altos
Los
is to
Altos,
me,
yeah.
yeah, life in Los Altos. It kind of resonated with a lot of these already. My only comment on Orchards Innovation is that it kind of ignores everything that was here before the orchards. So I just want to make that comment. My list is kind of a little bit more ootla, so I'll just name them in order.
Can you just give us your top 2?
Okay.
Well, actually, let me ask first, let's ask the commission. Why don't you say all of them? And then we'll see what they say.
I only have one, so.
Okay.
So the first one, they're not in order, they just as I thought of them. First one's called Upcycle Magic, 2D art made of reused things. I have a little description, but I don't need to read that.
It's Upcycle Magic.
Upcycle Magic, 2D art made of reused things.
Oh, so we can't do 2D art out there. We can only do 1D out there.
No, 2D means flat,
Oh, excuse me.
X and Y, that's
Oh,
2D.
okay.
3D is where it's.
Okay.
2D art that is recycled.
2D art made of reused things.
Okay.
Okay, and also, I have a technical question. I would imagine since it's all hung art, right? That it can't exceed a certain number of pounds. So a couple of my ideas, because they're like the recycled art, you know, somebody makes something that's really made of metal or something, it may be too heavy. So I put this in the description, not to exceed X pounds, but I don't know what those pounds are.
Cool.
Number 2, there's purple everywhere with an exclamation point. I've offered this one in the past, basically, because purple is the foundation of a lot of color in many drawn or painted renderings. So people go crazy. Sometimes you don't know it's there, sometimes it's obvious. So you can be creative with purple. The next one, the Bold Colors Art Show. I think it speaks for itself. Then the 4th one, my illustrated poem. I actually participated as a teen in an art show in my hometown in Southern California, where we did that. Illustrating, you write a little poem, doesn't have to rhyme, and then you illustrate your poem around the poem, kind of like old style writings, old style manuscripts, and it was a huge show. It ended up traveling and everything. It was really fun. And then the 5th one, the pattern gathering, where you just create depictions of pattern, and it's very open, very free. You can do whatever you want. You can do it in text, or you can do it in art, paint, you can do it in whatever. So I think my favorite is the illustrated poem, only because I remember it was unique. I've never seen another one since then, and that was, 50 years ago. And I go to a lot of art things, so I really like that one. And I also, I like all of them, but that's the one that really,
That's your favorite.
that's
What's
my
your second
favorite.
choice?
Probably my second choice is just because of the time and place where we are here in terms of what's important to the city. I like the Upcycle Magic. Because turning, used things into art is a good way to keep them out of the landfill.
Chair Morgan, if I can just add something, the system that we currently have in the community center, when we purchased the system, we did purchase a number of different, I'll just say hanging mechanisms. So we do have the ability to hang textiles. So it doesn't just have to be, paintings. Obviously, there's lots of different art, and obviously the system is flexible in that manner, so we do have that capability. Just as, the option, we currently do have that.
Thank you so much. It's great to know. All right, Vice Chair Taylor.
The only one I have is Around the World in Los Altos, My Cultural Heritage.
Ooh, Around the World in Los Altos, My Cultural Heritage. Very nice one. All right, Commissioner Morris?
I had one, Happy Places, but, I've heard some that I like a lot.
Okay, what was yours?
Mine was Happy Places.
Happy Places.
Yeah.
That's a great one too. All right, so, we have to pick 2. So maybe what I'll do, if this is okay with you, Commissioner Valdez, is I'm gonna remove from consideration the ones that weren't your top 2 choices. And then we'll just,
Because I like one of your other choices.
okay, all right, then you should give a second one.
Okay. Do you want to hear the 2 I like that she?
Yeah.
Okay, the pattern gathering. And I specifically like that because I think we can incorporate any quilters in, which would be kind of interesting because we get different textiles.
Okay.
And then I love the Upcycle Magic too.
Okay. So the one thing I want to just mention to everyone, and we don't have to do it this way, but is that you want to pick a topic or a theme that children and adults can participate in. So, Upcycle Magic. Okay. All right. So let's see. I figure out how
What we
how best
did,
to pursue-
remember what we did last time is everybody went around and picked their top 2, and then we
we voted.
got it down past that.
Okay.
you wouldn't mind.
Okay, yeah, we can,
Humor.
so I appreciate the suggestion. So how about, so I'm trying not to say what my opinion is, because maybe I'll wait till to be a tiebreaker. So maybe we'll start with, Upcycle Magic. Let's see, how many votes do we have for that?
1, 2, 3, 4, there's 5 people.
Upcycle is 5 people?
No.
There's 5 people in the room that can
Okay.
vote.
Okay, Upcycle, so let's see, Upcycle, 1, Upcycle, 2, we have 2 votes. Okay, so now Around the World in Los Altos. Around the World in Los Altos. Commissioner Morris?
I'm not voting.
No, but Around the World, we know what your vote is, Around the World in Los Altos? Okay, so that's, 3, I'm gonna vote for that one, Around the World in Los Altos, so that's, Commissioner Young, Couture, and Corrigan. So let's see, the next one is Happy Places.
I think, yeah.
You're voting?
No.
She pulled it because she put 2 on.
I liked the other ones better.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, so you're pulling it?
I'm pulling
That's
one.
why she picked.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cycle
oh,
and
okay.
pattern.
I like 3 other ones better.
I missed that. I'm sorry, I completely missed that.
Sometimes it happens, no big deal.
I like Harry's better than.
Okay, all right, write a poem and illustrate it.
My illustrated poem.
Okay, let me write that, down. My illustrated poem. Okay, so, Commissioner Young, Commissioner Valdez, you like that?
I like that one.
Yeah, okay, so that's 2.
It's not that I don't like.
I know. It's-
You have your
We're
favorite.
trying to be judicious with our votes. Okay, all right, so then the next one is Apricots to AI.
Actually, I replaced that with number 6 on your list,
Oh,
which is very similar.
from orchards to innovation?
Yeah.
So you prefer from orchards to innovation, or do you want apricots to AI? Orchards to innovation, okay, great. All right, so orchards to innovation, orchards to innovation. Okay, so, all right, so we have 1 vote for that. Okay, so then the second one you had, I believe, was, Seasons of Los Altos. So, all right, so Seasons of Los Altos, any takers? I like that one. So that's 2, okay. So we have, Around the World in Los Altos.
I have Commissioner Young down for 2 votes already.
You do?
Around the World in Los Altos. Isn't that what you said? 2 votes
Oh, yeah.
each?
Oh, I thought we would just go and vote for everyone. Everyone could vote, as many times as they want.
I think that they all understand.
Listen to, no, I thought it was just pick your top 2 and vote, yeah.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, you guys.
I think we should just.
I
stick
think
with
we
2.
were all voting the
way
way
we
we
were all voting, thinking we only had
Okay,
2 votes.
I only voted for 2, so I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay, good, so we're fine. So,
So
they,
he would withdraw his, probably all
The
around.
seasons would just be for you.
for just one, okay, so, all right, so here we are then. We are,
One has only voted once.
Me,
Yes.
I've only voted once.
Correct. Only for upcycle. No, she only voted for upcycle.
Only upside.
Pattern gathering.
It didn't come back up again for voting. I
Okay.
just originally said I liked it.
okay, so my vice chair has helped me out. So it looks like around, Around the World in Los Altos, My Cultural Heritage, that is in, that's our first theme. Around the World in Los Altos.
Because we got,
My Cultural
We have
Heritage.
3 votes.
oh, so, okay, I thought we were gonna go through 2 rounds where we kind of pick the finalists and then we go in and.
Well, we could do that that way. I mean, it's whatever you guys want. I mean, I want everyone to here to be happy with what we decide.
Okay, I still didn't vote the second time.
Okay, so what's your second vote?
So the gatherings, but nobody else is voting for that one. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. But it's still a vote, so I'm putting
It's a
down
vote. It's
one
good.
person got it. Okay, so
Every vote counts.
that way we're counting everybody and they voted. Okay, so
Okay, so-
then,
So now we've got, okay, so should I include the gathering as, I guess I won't because it only got one vote.
Right.
I think the ones we have to count is Upcycle Magic, My Illustrated Poem, and Around the World in Los Altos.
Hold on.
How many did the illustrate? So Upcycle got 2, Around the
Yep.
World got 3,
Yep.
Orchards got 1,
Right.
Season got 1, and Gatherings got 1.
And My Illustrated Poem got 2.
So it's basically now, I think it's between, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's between,
Upcycle Magic.
Upcycle.
Yeah.
and My Illustrated Poem.
So now, since it's only 2, now everybody should be able to vote again with 1 vote. If we had like 5, you could actually give everybody 2 votes, and then you create this nice curve, and then you pick the one with the most votes.
So you want to vote on both Upcycle and My Illustrated Poem?
Yep.
And then everybody gets 1 vote.
Okay, one vote. So Commissioner Young, do you want Upcycle or, My Illustrated Poem?
The second one.
My Illustrated Poem.
Okay, Commissioner Ballas?
You have to pick one of your 2.
I'll do Upcycle Magic. Flip myself.
Okay. Vice Chair Couture?
My Illustrated Poem.
Okay. Commissioner Vogel? Upcycle?
Exciting vote.
Like
No
poetry.
pressure.
Poetry. Okay, My Illustrated Poem. So we've done it. So,
And that would help, remember the haiku that somebody wanted like 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Somebody wanted a haiku whole art thing, so
And we
now we
can-
got it.
when, in the description, we can make it simple so that children can do this.
Yes, definitely. And children will be all over this because they're going through poetry classes in
Yeah.
school.
Exactly, that's why I picked it.
Adults.
Okay, so now, Jamie, do you want us to choose which one is spring and which one is fall, or does staff want to do that?
If the commission has a preference.
So we have to.
I think My Illustrated Poem would,
Spring and fall with those 2?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
I think My Illustrated Poem should go first because the kids are still in school for that one.
Okay, I think that makes sense. Does anyone disagree?
Totally thought it should be a winter one, but that's fine.
When would the call for art go out for the spring?
Staff can probably move pretty quickly on this one. So his school will end beginning to mid-June. So we can probably get the call out sometime, I would say mid to late April, and that would give a good 6 weeks, which is usually what we've done in the past to accept applications for hanging the art. So I think that could work and would fall within the school year.
Okay, that sounds
When
perfect.
does the fall call for art go up?
The fall call for art, it usually goes out early fall because the hanging is usually in, I would say October, November timeframe. And so that was the one that the call for art kind of straddles when school kind of initially starts, which is August, September. And so I think we'll have a better chance of getting youth involved if it falls in the spring.
Good point.
Right, so, I don't think we need a vote for this, do we? Do we need a vote?
We should, let's record it.
So, can I invite somebody to make a motion?
Well, I'll move
Okay.
to, request that we have 2 calls for art, the first one being My Illustrated Poem, and then the second one to be Around the World in Los Altos, My Cultural Heritage.
No, it was Upcycle Magic.
Although we voted these 2, and then this one was the one that won. This is the one that won the second shot.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Okay, Commissioner Morris,
Yes.
Chair Corrigan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Couture,
Yes.
Commissioner Valadez,
Yes.
and Commissioner Young.
Yeah.
Also unanimous.
That went a lot faster than I thought. So, thank you, everyone.
I have a couple questions.
Yes.
Not about the vote, but, Is there a weight and height, weight and size guideline on this?
In cafe, there is. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Correct, so, as far as the calls, that actually would be good direction to have as far as what kind of outreach, if it wants to be more local, if you want to do regional. For the local ones, we've tended to do just the general outreach. For the more regional and beyond, that is where the cafe system has come, to be helpful in, getting a broader base.
Do you know how heavy, I think no more than 10 pounds, right?
So the system itself, I don't know the maximum capacity offhand, but individually, I would have to,
There hasn't been anything that's been over 10 pounds, I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
But there has been some pretty big ones that came into us to look at, but we couldn't take them because they were too big, so if we could, you know, designate. Yeah, too big by size, yeah, like 6 feet by 5 feet.
But weight shouldn't be a problem. I mean, you can hang 20 pounds on a wall, it's a drywall.
I can look up, we can look up what the maximum capacity is. As far as size, we do have obviously the square footage of the space. So really with that, it would just limit the number of pieces that you could hang, because it is just those two walls that are in the hallway. So you could have one large, and then, you know, 6 small depending
And
on.
the only problem is it's supposed to be for residents only.
For
This-
this particular one.
This
Community
particular,
center.
this particular, community art center wall is supposed to be for residents
And so
only.
it's been promoted, I think, on Nextdoor, and then we've also posted flyers in the schools. So I don't know how you want to manage that.
Casey, you remember that, right?
I do remember that it was residents, and I think at the time it was
Work
people
here.
who work and live.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody who's connected with the city of Los Altos, really.
That's always the case?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
always.
it's always been the case. Yeah, you wouldn't know because you weren't in art.
Right?
We've always had like this Los Altos thing, I thought, oh, you know, okay, now I understand.
That's
Okay,
why I was concerned about the
But they
kids.
can be workers here,
Yes.
like a teacher could, or
Yep.
staff.
Gardener,
Yeah, okay.
street cleaner,
Nice to look at.
garbage
That
company.
was one question.
may I ask one
Okay,
more?
all right, so one more.
Is there a way that we can make it clear that this is a mixed media thing where people can do
Yeah,
things?
you have to write an abstract,
Give
right?
the flyer that they,
Will it?
yeah,
Okay.
and so, and
Because it
I,
would be fun to-
yeah, mixed media, yeah. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, you did a flyer for the schools, brochure, whatever.
And when the time comes, if this is okay with staff, we can post the flyer with comments on Nextdoor, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great.
Okay, thank you.
So there's gonna be guidelines,
And
right?
the city manager posted it.
For this
Yeah.
size, weight,
Yeah.
gotta be a
was
resident or
updated
employee of
in
the city.
Correct,
that kind of thing.
Correct. All of those, I'll say requirements that they have to meet, that is usually indicated on the application.
Commissioner Valdez?
I'm gonna forward my blurb for my illustrated poem I'll copy you and the staff.
Okay.
And then, we can add to that the media requirements, size, weight, all the things that you say have
Staff
to.
can take it away. So, they're good at this.
If you want to elaborate on that, or if anything stays, we can
Okay, great,
Add
thank
to
you
that.
so much. Okay, well done. Now we'll move on to the next agenda item, which is the reviewing the proposed art installation replacement. So let me just tee this up to show you that, do you want to talk about this one?
I love that one.
We do too.
So this one is the seasons and, it's 1, 2, 3 three different size, so it's spring, autumn and winter. And, it's at the corner of Edith and,
I got ahead of myself, sorry. I need to invite staff report. My apologies.
No, Director Hernandez had included a very brief, staff report, essentially as, Chair Corrigan highlighted. There is a piece that, this particular artist is planning to pick up and has offered to, bring another piece, which photos of that is included in the packet as an option. So it would be in the loan program, so potentially for 2 years with the, and that is at the discretion of the commission. And so I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so, so there's no public comment. I don't see any members of the public here, so, and Vice Chair Couture was just explaining where it's located, what it looks like. It's really a beautiful piece.
It's at the corner of Edith and Los Altos Avenue, in that little like area that's closer to Foothill Expressway.
I walk by it every day.
Oh, you have
Actually,
those
very
pieces?
beautiful.
It's great, I love this.
So, and so to add
like it.
additional context, Director Hernandez spoke with the artist, and the artist is willing to lend us this piece that is attached to your materials, and it's the same dimensions as the piece that is replacing. And if we did not accept the artist's generous offer, then that place will be vacant until we do another. Yeah, until we do another art without what we call for art, which could be, who knows?
Same idea.
I like it.
Moons and trees in the,
Um, Does anyone have any thoughts or comments or questions?
My only comment is we make it so that it's facing probably like diagonal, because that's, you know, there's a street like this, so I think it should face like that.
oh, we're going the same spot as the prior piece of art?
Yeah, it has to go on the plaque, or sorry. Cement,
Yeah.
cement,
Are you
talking about putting it on an
angle?
I think we put it on an angle, so you can see it.
45
Yeah,
to
45-degree angle.
That would be
to Los Altos
Yeah.
Avenue in
Yeah.
Edith, right?
Yeah, facing like
Almost facing
southeast,
southwest.
southeast.
Southeast, yeah.
I think you will volunteer, but when the installation happens, you can both be there.
Yeah.
To help guide the artist when she installs it.
This is like 50 yards from my house.
Oh my gosh. It's beautiful. So it sounds like people like it. Does anyone have any comments or questions or concerns?
Question, it's two-sided?
You have to, yeah, I think it is.
Cause it doesn't, spell that out or say, you know, give you
I
the,
think it,
it must be, cause the moon's on one side on one and one on the other. Okay.
Yeah, see the moon, yeah, it is, because.
Okay, because the moon changes.
Yeah.
yeah.
So the report is item 4, but then you go back to item 3 for the attachment.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, I think Mr. Morris raised a good point where I think because, Mr. Young, you live so close to it, so you can't vote.
How far are you?
Yeah.
Are you 500 feet? Are you 4 houses?
I'm
Did you get a map from, the powers that be showing the circle?
We don't have that yet.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Are you 5 houses away from it? Because each house is 100.
I'm one, a cul-de-sac, and then 1, 2,
Are you on Cypress?
another cul-de-sac, and
What street are you on?
No, we don't want to go into those details on the record. No, so I think just in an abundance of caution, I think just recuse yourself. Because and the rest of us can just vote, because we've still got a quorum. Yeah, so, but thank you for pointing that, because we want to make sure.
When you
you're-
said 50 feet, he walks by, I was like,
Well, I figured he lived a long way away and just walks.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
Yeah, I could tell.
so any other questions or comments, any discussion? Can I invite a motion to accept the? offer from the
I'll
artist?
move that we'll, yeah, I will move to accept the artist's replacement, sculpture. I don't know the name because I don't.
encircled in cycles.
Oh, here it goes, yes. It's written in cycles. By Jennifer.
Jennifer Patton.
Is there a second?
Second.
Right.
Commissioner Morris. Chair Corrigan,
Yes.
Vice Chair Couture,
Yes, please.
and Commissioner Valadez.
Yes.
That was unanimous at 4.
All right, so now we move on to informational items.
Yes. We just have the brief memo. We do this every year. Each commissioner is assigned a council meeting. You do not have to go if there are not items related to parks, public arts, cultural events, etc. You can still go, you can still report back. That would be lovely, but you do not have to unless there are things that are relevant to this commission. It is a randomized list. I just put your names into the randomizer on the internet and then they repeat over and over. And then the only other item of note is that our November meeting is scheduled on the same day as council's November meeting because they do not have a second and fourth. They just are doing a third. So at this point, we are just specifying that we will cancel that meeting and we will do a special meeting in November, but we are not setting the date at this time.
Can I ask a question about the roster, calendar roster?
Yes.
When you do attend a meeting, it's your day, you go to the meeting, and a topic affects park, are we representing park in that meeting? Are we still only an observer?
You are still an observer. You would just be reporting back to the commission.
So if we get asked a question by council as a member of park, we cannot represent park.
Correct. You could say, you can speak as a resident, but not as a member of Parks.
And I would be surprised if council asked you a direct question at a meeting as a representative.
I go to every single meeting and it happens quite frequently with planning commission, with,
Yeah, just be careful, just say you're
yeah, I
resident.
just wanted to know what the rendering was. There seems to be an expectation from council that you can answer. So I want to be clear on the rules there.
If it has been something that the commission itself has already discussed and voted on, and it is something that is already something that you've taken action on the record, you can absolutely speak to it in that fashion. But as has mentioned before, if it has not been something that the commission has discussed or taken action or direction on, then you can speak as a resident.
Okay,
Thank you
that
very much,
clarifies.
Renee.
Thank you very much.
And the only thing I would request, is that if you can't make your assigned date, I think it's your responsibility to find a replacement. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And to also notify Casey, right?
Yeah, we would like to be notified.
And the dates are in the information you sent out.
They are.
With the hyperlink.
Yeah.
Okay, so the upcoming Parks and Recreation Department events, the spring Easter egg hunt. I don't think we have anything to discuss there.
It was just to highlight that it is coming up on April 19th.
The other one I'll highlight too, it's not specifically listed, but we have our next Family Fun Day, which will be on April 5th. So that's actually coming up a little bit sooner, but that is always Saturday 10 to 1 here at the community center. And then obviously the spring egg hunt is the 2 Saturdays after that on April 19th. So those are the two upcoming events that Parks and Recreation will be hosting.
And it will be here at the community center? Okay, great. And that is something that we can all attend. Right,
Absolutely.
and then the topic, we can attend, but the topic of, that we discussed about.
Volunteers, I will get clarification.
That's everything. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we move on to the next, agenda item, which is, commission, subcommittee, staff oral reports and requests for future agenda items in farmer's market, and we have an update from Commissioner Young.
So I've been speaking with the Los Altos Association, Village Association about this, and what I learned was that they set aside a space with a canopy, for nonprofit organizations, and you can have 2 of the farmers market dates, okay, for each organization. That's the way it works. And so in talking with them, we've settled on 2 dates, as it turns out. One is June 12th and the other is September 4th. And they will provide the canopy and obviously the space. And it's up to us to supply the table, the chairs, the material that we want to hand out and all that stuff that you accompany in setting it up.
Banners, can we hang banners on the tent?
I don't know. I'll have to get the rules.
And additional information, we actually do have a table skirt that has Parks Recreation Parks, Arts, Recreation, and Culture Commission, on the table, cover. So we do have that available, which would be perfect for this event.
And tablecloth?
So that, I believe the table and, or yes, we, Parks and Rec, sorry, I had to, I was looking at the email. Yes, we do have a table and chairs, that even our, own department goes out for tabling events. And the table, it's a cover, so the cloth is kind of more free floating. This one is a more fitted one. So those of you that attended the, open house that, the more fitted one, the, Parks and Recreation Department one, it was the green. There is one for the commission as well.
So did everyone get those dates? Everyone has those dates?
June 12th and September 4th.
And so one of the things that I know Commissioner Young would like to do is, and this is along future agenda items, is that I think we should agendize this for the next meeting so that, I mean, you have some logistics and things in budget that you want to discuss. Is that correct? So and I guess, for the future agenda items for, next month, we would like to request, farmer's market.
I'll be that second person to support, I'm assuming you support it, so.
I think everyone is welcome to attend, and I think it's great if everyone can make it, if you're in town,
So the time is from 4 to 8.
We're going to agendize this item for
Right, we are.
discussion, correct?
correct.
Okay, then I'll wait and talk.
Right.
Okay.
Okay,
The
great.
action now is to put it on the future
Yeah.
agenda items list, and then I have a commission report. I was able to meet with Jamie, to discuss pickleball. So I kind of got the lay of the land, the program that exists, what staff is looking for, what, I've got the contacts of the people. I haven't made contact with them yet. But I will be undertaking, get that project rolling here in the next couple of weeks to, start, formulating an outreach process to find out programmatically what the community or communities want. So more later, but I just wanted to let you know that I made contact with staff and.
That's fantastic. Do you think that you will be ready or want to be on the agenda for next month, or do you want more
I
time?
don't think so, because I'm gonna have to wait for them to get back to me.
Okay.
So I would probably shoot for the next one. I plan on getting a hold of them within the next week, so if for some reason they're like ready to go, I'll give you a call, or I'll send you an email.
Okay.
But I would say at this point, I'm probably less than 50% sure, so I don't wanna commit to the.
Okay. Right, that sounds wonderful.
We can put it on the future agenda, but I don't think I should commit for the April meeting.
Yeah.
We can do it without a date. We can use these rooms.
Okay.
Additionally, I did get a note from Mayor Daley that we were a little incorrect, about speaking in front of council. And that if you speak in front of council, you would be speaking as a resident only, not even on items that have been voted on by the commission. or taken action.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's great. Real-time guidance.
Yeah.
All right, fantastic. All right, so, unless there is anything further for oral reports,
Well, future agenda items.
future agenda. Go ahead.
We have the dog park coming up and probably next month,
That's
but
something-
that'll be determined.
That's
by the
something that
chair.
Director Hernandez and I were gonna work on once we get your report.
Okay, okay.
So,
And then the other one is, parks participation in family fun days.
Yeah.
So, I've communicated with staff and they're, working with Director Hernandez and I'll hear back from them. So I'm moving forward on that.
okay,
Okay,
great. Anything else?
that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, well, unless there's anything further, I think we can adjourn the meeting at 7:18. That might be an all-time record.